I made $80,000 in 30 days with Google Ads dropshipping with a 43% net profit margin, which is about $35,000 in profit. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. But how is it that most dropshippers are lucky to get 10% net profit after all costs considered, yet I'm able to do less work and make more? Well, the difference is I build branded, niche-specific, high-ticket dropshipping stores, and I simply sell products on Google to people who are actively searching for them. Think about it. Where do you go when you want to buy something online? Google, right? With Google Ads, it's very easy to sell products to people who are already looking for them. You just need to know how to pick the right products. For this, I've created my own strategy using my 5 years of combined e-commerce experience, and it's called the 4-step product validation method. But we'll talk more on that in just a moment. Before we do, I want to mention that 4 months ago, I created a YouTube video. The title of that video was how I'm going to go from 10K to 100K per month with my new dropshipping brand. In that video, not only did I give away my entire strategy for free, but I also stated confidently that this strategy would be the exact thing to take me to 100K per month. Now, we may not be there yet, but I think you can see where this is going. Let's take a quick look inside the Shopify dashboard. So you can see here, past 30 days, we've done $80,312 in sales from just 195 orders. Now, if I hit that refresh button, just so you can see these numbers are legit, we're seeing the same thing. So why was I so confident in this strategy to say publicly on a YouTube video that this is the strategy that would take me to 100K per month? Well, when you've been in e-commerce as long as I have, you start to understand the different variables and, most importantly, how to control them. And after 5 years in the game, I have a step-by-step process that I follow when building a brand, and I'm going to share that with you right now. Before we get into it, let's just pull up the profit and loss so you can see how much I'm actually making from that $80,000 in revenue. So here we can see the profit and loss month by month. This dropshipping brand I launched on May 2nd, and let me just explain what each of these columns are. So cost of goods is product cost and shipping cost. Total ad spend is the Google advertising spend that went into generating the sales. This column is total sales revenue as per the Shopify dashboard. And then we have total profit, which is sales minus ad spend and total cost of goods sold, which then gives us profit as a percentage and the return on advertising spend. And as you can see, we've scaled our revenue pretty consistently month over month. And what's most important is the actual net profit. You can see here in May, it was actually at 54%. In June, it was 49%. July 36%, August 47%, September 47%, October 44%, and November month to date, because this is the profit and loss up until the 10th of November. Today is the 11th. We are at 41% net profit, which means total over all time, the net profit is 46%. Now, I don't know any other e-commerce business owners that can say this other than the people that I'm working with and my students. So why is it we're able to maintain such a high profit margin? Well, let me break it down for you right now. Now, as I mentioned to you earlier, I build branded, niche-specific, high-ticket Google Ads dropshipping stores. So why do I brand my stores? Well, by creating a brand, you can become an authority. By becoming an authority, it means that you are recognized as a leader in that particular niche. The reason we want to become an authority is because then we build brand IP and we start building an asset that has real associated value. Not only that, but by becoming an authority, we can charge a premium price point, which allows us to sell high ticket products. Some of these tie into one another. I always build niche specific stores. You may have heard the saying, the riches are in the niches, and that is true, especially when it comes to e-commerce. I always build niche specific stores and I find products within a niche that complement one another, and then I build a brand around that. And we'll talk more on that in a moment when I reveal my 4-step product validation method. The reason we build niche stores is because by building a niche store, that also allows us to become a micro authority within that niche. Not only that, but it makes it much easier for us to actually brand our products, okay? Because we're not some general store selling hundreds or even thousands of different products and different SKUs. Initially, we launch 3 to 5 high-ticket products within a niche. We validate these products using the 4-step product validation method. And that allows us to bring 3 to 5 products to market within a niche. Because we only have 3 to 5 SKUs, it then becomes much easier to brand these products and market ourselves as an actual brand, which then allows us to become an authority, build brand IP, and sell high ticket products, because people are only going to buy high ticket products from a brand that they trust. But by selling high ticket products, it means we have a high profit potential, because after our cost of goods and our advertising spend, we still have tons of profit left over, which has been reflected in my profit and loss, which I just shared with you. So how do we actually sell the high ticket products? Well, we sell them on Google Ads, and we simply sell them to people who are already searching on Google for the products that we sell. How do we know what products people are searching for on Google? Well, we validate this during the 4-step product validation method, and I'll share that with you right now. But before I do this, hopefully you can see how everything that I do here is the complete polar opposite to what everyone else currently does in the e-commerce and dropshipping space. Almost everyone else will tell you to sell low ticket, low quality junk with an average price point of $20, $30, $40, or maybe $50 if you're lucky. Which means as a business owner, you have to generate hundreds and hundreds of sales to even make any revenue, let alone any profit. Let's say your average price point is $30. You'd need to generate 100 sales just to make $3,000. Within that $30 sale, you need to cover your product and shipping cost and your advertising spend. And then anything left over is profit. But how much profit do you think there is in a $30 product? Most likely about $5. That'd be about 15%, which pretty much works out to what most meta dropshippers are generating. Typically, they'll expect 10 to 15% net profit margins at best. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt and assume 15%. 15% profit from $3,000 would be $450 in profit. Or would you rather do what I do and sell 10 $400 products, which would be $4,000 in revenue? And you've seen my profit and loss report, right? Even if we're to assume 45% net profit margin, that'd be $1,800 in profit. Look at the difference, right? Same amount of work, or arguably less work, right? Because I only need to generate 10 sales, not 100. Plus, I'm not doing meta ads, so I don't need image or video-based creatives. Instead, I'm just listing my ads on Google, which is a search engine, also known as search engine marketing. So I'm just putting my ads in front of people who are already looking for them, and therefore they have higher purchase intent. They're an audience that's much more likely to convert because they're actually looking for the product. So I'll ask you again, what makes more sense? Selling 100 $30 products with meta ads, which require image and video-based creatives and a lot of testing, or selling 10 $400 products to people on Google Ads that are already looking for the product and you don't have to create any images or videos? Which one seems to make most logical sense? Because I know what one does to me, and that is this model right here. So now I know what you're probably wondering. Theo, how do you find high-ticket products to sell on Google? Well, you need to find products that pass my 4-step product validation method, PVM. And that is products that have high search demand, products that have low competition, products that are evergreen, which means they can be sold year round, and also products that have a high profit potential, which is simply high ticket products. Now, why is high search demand important? Well, we use a tool called Google Keyword Planner, and that tells us every single month how many people are looking for a particular product. If there are 10,000 people every single month looking for a particular product that we intend on selling, if we use this tool to validate that there are, say, 10,000 people every single month looking for a particular product that we want to bring to market, then we can assume that of those 10,000 searches, a significant portion of those are sales, because you don't typically go to Google and type in the name of a product unless you intend on buying it, or at least doing some research before you consider buying it. So that's the first thing. We can't sell things to people on Google if they're not already looking for them. Second is competition, and this kind of ties into profit potential as well. So why do we want low competition? Well, we don't want to sell products that are overly saturated, because the way Google works is like an auction. Google is called PPC advertising, which means you pay per click. You pay when someone clicks on your ad, and the amount that you pay is determined by how much you're willing to pay for that click. So we don't want to sell products that have too much competition, because that's going to inflate our cost per click. That's going to inflate our cost of advertising. So how do we determine the level of competition? We simply use Google Shopping. We go to Google Shopping, we have a look at see how many other people are selling the product that we intend on bringing to market, and we pick something that is not too saturated. We also want to take the average price point that each of these people are selling this product for, because we're going to want to sell the product at the average price point, which is how we calculate our profit potential. We take the average of all of our competitors, and we want to make sure that this is at least $100 plus. Then lastly, we're going to use Google Trends to determine whether or not this product is evergreen. We don't want to sell products that are seasonal, that we can only sell for 3 or 6 months of a year. We want to sell products that we can sell year round, 247, 365, 365 days of the year. Now, as I mentioned, the goal here is to find 3 to 5 products that we can then bring to market with confidence because it passes the 4-step product validation method. So unlike Meta, we do all of the testing upfront with data. We don't spend any money on ads to see if we can find a winning product and just hope for the best. Instead, we use data that's available for free on Google to check for high demand, low competition, make sure a product is evergreen, meaning we can sell it year round, and we make sure that we have a high profit potential. Once we've identified at least 3 to 5 products within a niche, we then take them products and pass them over to our private agent who can begin sourcing them for us. So what is a private agent? Well, they are an extension of your business. If we assume the private agent is here, I'm up here, we have two-way open communication, and they are an agent on the ground in China, which means they have access to a huge network of suppliers and also shipping lines. Now, by going through a private agent, we can then pass them the information of the products that we intend on sourcing. They will then extend that into their network of suppliers and source the products for us. They will then get back to us from the suppliers with information what we could expect to pay in terms of our cost of goods sold, so our product and shipping cost. We then use our private agent to negotiate a target price that allows us to maintain at least a 75% gross margin on our high ticket products, which is enough to cover our ad spend and leave us with a healthy profit left over. And now the other benefit of using a private agent is once we've agreed a price with the suppliers, we can then get samples sent to our private agent's address in China. They can then take images of the products and also confirm the product quality is good. Once they have the product there with them, they can then measure the packaging dimensions and also negotiate the best shipping rates with shipping lines and also expedite that shipping for us. So they can get us the best rate in the quickest time and make sure the products we're selling are high quality. So we're really taking a customer first approach when building a brand. Gone are the days of these sort of like 20 to 30 day shipping lines from China. What we do is we pay the most to expedite the shipping. And the fact that we have a high margin and high profit potential means we can invest in more expensive shipping lines, which ultimately makes everything better for us in the back end because the customer gets the product quicker. We've used the private agent to validate that the quality is high, so there's going to be less customer complaints, less chargebacks, and ultimately more satisfied customers, which leads to 5-star Trustpilot customer reviews for us, and therefore more sales because we have more social proof. Something that most of these dropshippers skip altogether because most of them really don't care about their customers. But by taking a customer first approach and really focusing on branding, we can build something that's truly going to stand the test of time. Once we've sourced the products, what I do is I then use AI to build my website, and I use a Shopify template as a base. Shopify is the tool that I use to build my website. It's a plug and play builder. It's extremely user friendly and very easy to get the hang of. You either use a free or a paid theme. I use a paid one. And then that comes with different sections that you can kind of drag and drop and build the website how you want it to be built. So that's my base. And then what I do is I use AI to build what's called an ICP document. An ICP is an ideal customer profile. Now this is really important because it allows you to understand your customer's wants, pains, needs, and desires. So you're able to actually build customer avatar and know more about your customers than what they know about themselves. Now to do this, I use deep research and AI prompts to go to the internet to scan Amazon reviews, Reddit posts, Quora, and even Facebook groups and provide me with information on the types of people who buy the products that I intend on bringing to market. And it will create me a comprehensive document, sometimes 10 pages in length, telling me everything I need to know about my ideal customer profile. I do this for each of my 3 to 5 products, and then I leverage the ideal customer profile to create the text and the copy for my website. So it creates all of the text for my product pages, the About Us page, the home page, and just near enough anywhere that you would need any text. I then copy that information from the ICP document into my Shopify store, and that is all of the text done. But it doesn't end there. I also use my ICP document to create AI images. Now remember earlier I said that we use the private agent to get a product sample. I also request that they take pictures of the product for me, and then using AI prompts from our ideal customer profile document, which knows everything about our customer avatar, we can get it to create prompts that we then feed into a tool called Sora. Now, Sora is an AI image generator, and once Sora knows everything about your ideal customer profile based on a prompt that we've created to suit this exact person right here, it will then use the base images that we got from our private agent and optimize them using Sora that we can then use for the website. Gone are the days of ordering a product to your location and then physically organizing a photo shoot with models, collaborators, affiliates, getting all of them people together, paying them for their time, and then also getting a videographer to take the images and videos, which isn't cheap either. Not to mention the turnaround time then of the images and videos so that you can actually use them on your website. All of this has been replaced with AI. Now, of course, there is still a time and a place for this type of stuff, but as someone who's building a business, the thing that's most important is speed and momentum. Imagine the time delay to getting all of that imagery back. It's going to take forever. Instead, we're able to do all of this and use AI to build a website in 24 hours or less. We then want to make sure that the website we've created is Google compliant. Now, we're going to be advertising on Google, which means we need to comply with all of Google's policies. Now, what most people do when they launch a Google Ads dropshipping store is they don't take the time to understand Google's policies, which, by the way, Google give away for free online, but, who's going to read all of those? Well, me. I went through, I read them, I fed them all through to AI. And then what I did is I used that information to create a comprehensive checklist so that I can ensure any stores that I build are Google compliant. I've been advertising on Google for over 5 years and I've never had any policy violations, which is very common these days of e-commerce business owners and dropshippers because they launch a business or launch a website and then try to advertise on Google without first making sure that they're Google compliant. Crazy, right? But everyone does it. They just seem to skip on this step, which is one of the most important things, because if you can't advertise on Google, if your store is not approved, then how are you going to generate revenue? So I used AI to create what I call my Google Merchant Center suspension prevention checklist. And I go through this process step by step to ensure that my store is Google compliant. And once it is, I then go ahead and launch my Google advertising campaigns. So what I did is I used a combination of Google Shopping and Google Search Ads. Google Shopping ads are also known as PLAs, Product Listing Ads. You'll have seen them on Google. You type in, for example, buy men's running shoes or Nike running shoes, and then you see beneath the search bar, all of these little ads pop up and you can see an image, product title, and price point. These are people who are advertising on Google and they're in the Google auction and they're willing to pay for you as a viewer to click on their ad. This is a great way to target bottom of funnel traffic. If we think about the sales funnel, these are people who are already looking for the products that we sell. Similarly, we have the Google Search Network, which works in the same way. Someone searches for something on Google, we then run a search ad, we then create a search ad, which again targets people around specific keywords. Here, what we can do is target specific keywords relating to things that people would be searching for on Google. So assuming we sold running shoes, we would target this as a specific keyword, which means our ad would trigger when someone is searching Google for this term or something relevant or similar to this term. And then we would have an ad pop up dedicated to running shoes on the search network, which is a text-based ad. These are two examples of people that are at the bottom of the funnel. What do we mean by bottom of funnel? Well, they're people who know what they're looking for and they're searching Google with intent to purchase something, right? It's very unlikely that someone would go to Google and search for running shoes unless they're looking to buy them. Sure, there may be people that are still in the research phase, maybe they want to determine what type of shoe is best for them and their running style. And that's how we start to work our way back up the funnel. And we'll talk more on that in a moment. But the reason that we start our Google ads by targeting people here is because we're going to have the highest conversion rate, because we're just selling to people who are already looking for the products that we sell. The difference between Google and Meta is most Meta advertisers start here at the top of funnel, okay? Which are people that are cold and don't have high purchase intent. If you think about the nature of the two platforms, where do you go when you want to buy something online? You go to Google. You don't pull out your phone and start scrolling on Instagram, right? So anytime that someone sees an Instagram ad, as an advertiser, you've got a hard job because you've got to take them from being in entertainment mode to then purchasing your product, which is why most people on Meta sell $20, $30, $40, or even $50 products, because it's very difficult to take someone from entertainment to then suddenly purchasing something that is any more than an impulse buy. Whereas with Google, we can sell high ticket products because we can see, and we've validated using my 4-step product validation method, how many people every single month are searching for the products that we intend on selling, and then we simply put ads in front of them at the bottom of the funnel. And honestly, this is all that I did to go from 0 to my first 10K per month. It's very simple. I just followed this exact plan, this exact strategy. However, to go from 10 to 100K, I had to do a few more things in addition to this, okay? Now, targeting bottom of funnel traffic is great, okay? Because these are people that have high purchase intent. The only problem with people at the bottom of the funnel is there's only so many people every single month looking for the exact products that we sell. And eventually you're going to reach all of those customers, which is called total addressable market. There are only so many people every single month searching for the products that we intend on selling. So then we have two options. We either scale vertically or we scale horizontally. Of course, we can do both. But what most people do on Meta is they scale vertically, okay? Now, if we were to draw a chart, and down here we put revenue, and up here we put ad spend, what most people think is that as you increase ad spend, revenue is also going to increase linearly. And typically that is what you start to see, apart from when you begin to scale. Because whilst this is true most of the time, at a certain point you're going to reach all of your bottom of funnel traffic, and then you're going to be working your way up into the middle of the funnel and the top of the funnel, where the conversion rate is lower, which means you're still paying a similar amount or the same amount to reach this audience, but they're not converting at the rate in which the bottom of funnel traffic was, which means your cost of advertising has become more expensive, and that means your profitability has declined. Because the rate in which you're converting is lower, that means your profit is also lower, because you're spending more to generate sales. And this is also reflected in my own profit and loss. You see, as we scaled up the advertising spend month on month, the revenue came up, but there were instances where the profit as a percentage came down. You can see the first 2 months we were at 50% and above. The third month we dropped down to 36%. I was spending more money during this phase on testing new products and gathering more data. Then with that additional spend, I reviewed all the data, optimized the ads further, and increased my profit margin up to 46%. And then you can see as we've started scaling again, the profit margin as a percentage has continued to come down. So what do we do to combat this? Well, rather than just scaling vertically all the time, we also scale horizontally. This is exactly what I did, and it's exactly what I said I was going to do 4 months ago when I recorded my video sharing my plan to take this business from 10 to 100K per month. So what is horizontal scale? Well, horizontal scale comes in two forms: products and markets. Now, remember initially we were looking for 3 to 5 core products that pass the 4-step product validation method. These are our core products. And what we should also be doing is adding on complementary products. Okay, so complementary products are products that we can add on as an upsell or cross-sell. What do we mean by an upsell or cross-sell? Well, these are products that we can bundle in addition to the core products to increase our AOV. What is AOV? AOV is average order value. If we're already spending money getting traffic to our website, then what we want to do in the back end on our website is maximize the amount of money that each of our customers are spending. We do this by encouraging them to buy complementary products. So what we do is we add on these products as upsells and cross-sells. So for example, if we're going with the running shoes example, what other things are runners likely to purchase? Well, let's think about it. They're probably also interested in purchasing shoe insoles, right? Insoles to put inside of their shoe to make their feet more comfortable depending on the shape and the arch of their foot. What else might they buy? Well, maybe compression socks for running or a knee support to help them when they're running on concrete. These are easy products that we can bundle and encourage our existing users to buy. So we would add these on to the product page and we would create an offer. So that might be a bundle discount when products are purchased in combination with one another, or it may be some other kind of offer. For example, if you buy running trainers and compression socks, then you get free insoles. That will then encourage people to buy the compression socks. Or you could run a different type of offer, buy one, get one free. You need to study what your competitors are doing. And once you understand what's going on in the rest of the market, then you can create a compelling offer suitable for you and your business as well. And the idea here is just to maximize how much revenue you're collecting per customer. This is then going to increase your profitability on the back end. And that's exactly what I've been doing with my own store. I've been adding on upsell and cross-sell products and bundling them, not only on the product page, but also in the cart page and post-purchase. Post-purchase is something that most people forget about. If customers have already purchased on my store, they've seen the offer on the product page, and they've either purchased it or declined it, it doesn't matter which option they decided. We can still show them a different offer post-purchase. So after they've purchased something from my store, we can send them to a funnel that's integrated into the checkout or on the thank you page, encouraging them to buy more. So what we would do is post-purchase, we would show them a new offer. Now, if they didn't take the existing offer, we can re-show them that. So we can re-show them offer number one. If they decline, we can show them a different offer, which may be offer number one at a bigger discount, or maybe a completely different offer altogether. If they decline that, we can show them a different offer, maybe offer one with an even bigger discount, or something similar. Obviously, the offer that you run is going to be dependent on your own margins and the products that you're selling. But if someone's already bought from you, they're much more likely to spend more because they already have that post-purchase high. They've already committed to buying something, and therefore a complementary product is very easy to sell. We want to maximize our opportunity to do this on the product page, on the cart page, and also post-purchase. And that's exactly what I've done with my own store. So that is an example of horizontal scale, adding on more products, complementary products, and increasing our AOV. The other thing we do is we sell in more markets. So I'm from the UK. Let's just say I launched in the UK market initially for my brand. There's nothing to stop me also running from UK to USA to Canada to Australia, all tier 1 English speaking countries, or even selling to people in Europe, in places that have a high GDP, such as Germany or France. Obviously, I would need to convert the currency in each of these locations to make sure it's relevant to the shopper, and also convert the language if I was advertising in Europe to ensure it's all localized. But this is one way of getting around total addressable market. Remember here we said we only have so many people every single month searching for the products that we sell. But if we scale horizontally into different markets, then what we start to see is the search demand for all of these markets combined, right? And then what we can do after scaling horizontally into these markets and also adding on more products and complementary products to increase our AOV, then we can scale vertically again, which is our increase in ad spend. Because we have more bottom of funnel traffic, we have a higher AOV, which means we can spend more on the front end on advertising, generate more profit, and reallocate some more of that profit back into ad spend to scale further. Now, not only was this exactly what I said I was going to do in my previous video when I said this is my plan and my strategy to take my new dropshipping brand from 10 to 100k per month, this is the exact strategy that I gave away for free 4 months ago when I filmed my video originally on how I was going to take my dropshipping brand from 10k to 100k per month. Now, we're at about 80k so far, as you guys have seen in the last 30 days, and it's the exact same process I'm going to follow to take this brand to 100k and beyond. Hopefully by watching this video, I've showed you a different perspective in dropshipping. Dropshipping isn't a scam. It doesn't have to be done inauthentically. I very simply just use it as a method of getting products from my supplier to my customers without having to ever come into contact with the product. And done right, it's a fantastic business model. The problem is, and what you may have faced in the past if you've tried dropshipping, is that most people just follow the wrong strategy. As discussed earlier, they sell low ticket, low quality junk. They need to generate tons and tons of sales. They do this using meta ads, which require image and video based creatives, tons of testing and big advertising budgets until you actually find your winning product. Not to mention all of the customer complaints, chargeback and dissatisfaction going on in the back end as well, which ultimately leads to negative reviews online about your business. And surely no one feels good doing that, you know? I see the Trustpilot pages of a lot of other dropshippers out there. They've got 1-star Trustpilot reviews. It's all negative, no customer support, no customer first experience. They're not building a brand. It's just total trash and total disregard for the customers that they serve. But if you're like me and you want to build a business that you're proud of, something that's done the authentic way with a customer first approach, then you need to consider building a branded, niche-specific, high-ticket dropshipping store. In this video, I shared with you my process, but if you're serious about learning more, then you should consider joining my mentorship program. Here is where you'll find everything broken down. It's a complete A to Z that you can follow step by step, even if you are a complete beginner. And it will show you everything from product research to product sourcing to building your business to building your store with AI, setting up your website so it's Google compliant, and launching your Google advertising campaigns. And as you can see from some of the members inside of the academy at the moment, everyone is absolutely crushing it. We've got Alexander here, who got his first sale of over 500 euros. That was a single product, by the way. Remember, we're doing high ticket Google ads dropshipping here. He's based in Estonia and he's selling in the German market. You can see here 579 euros from just one order. We've got Mateusz. He's also selling high ticket products. Clearly in the UK market, £563 with a 61% net profit margin. So that equates to a $750 sale and $450 in net profit. And you can see that in the screenshot there as well. We've got Mitch, he's working construction. He also joined the academy, launched a store. He's been working really hard. As he said here, I'm working 10-hour days. I'm hitting the gym after, then spending the rest of the night building my store. Some nights I've been completely drained and questioning if it's even worth it, but hearing that first cha-ching made it all worth it. We've got Alexander again. This was the guy up here sharing another win when he launched in a new market 3 days ago and straight away got 2 sales for a total of 366 euros. We've got Patrick down here, also got his first sale, not 1 but 2 sales, both high ticket, £147 each. We've got Oscar, who went from 0 to 26k in Google revenue in just 60 days. Not to mention all the 5-star Trustpilot reviews that we've had from existing members inside of the academy. You can see to date we've had 28 5-star reviews. There's not one person who has rated their experience anything less than 5-star. I could go through every single one of these students and tell you a bit about them because I've worked with all of them personally, but honestly I would be here for quite some time. If you're interested, you can check out our reviews. They're present and public on Trustpilot, and as you can see, it's 5-star after 5-star. So if you are interested in learning more and building a branded, niche-specific, high-ticket dropshipping store, make sure you see the link in the video description to learn more. That is all for this video. Stay tuned for more brand updates, which will be coming soon. I'll do another update when I'm past the $100,000 per month threshold, which shouldn't be too long at all. With Black Friday and Cyber Monday coming up, no doubt we will absolutely fly past that target. So that is all for this video. If you found it useful, make sure to hit that like button, drop a comment and smash subscribe. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video.